What is going on, everybody? This is BobbyFi with the man, Eric Sheets Haber. We are bringing you our most important show of the week. While last week was a little slip up for us, Sheets has been dropping some pretty good dimes out here with some awesome plays and some good outright bets too. So we're going to break it down by all tiers and everything. Sheets also has one of us will do a coaching session with whoever guesses Sheets' guy. Before that happens and that guy comes up on our list, Sheets is going to let me know so I can have a guess as well. And yeah, Sheets, take it away. What do you think about this this slate?
So it's an interesting slate because, again, this is a lot of the top guys aren't there. Like you'll know right from the top that you get when the top owned guy is not top owned guy, when the top price guy is Sanjay M. Not that Sanjay M is bad, but you know that the overall field strength is just much weaker, which makes it different. I'm really into this. I have a couple of takes, and I'm also going to throw in some Rick stuff. Also, again, I have no problem with it because I'm taking it from his free videos, so I'll kick in some of Rick's takes also, and looking forward to it, man. I love the golf sweat every week. Yeah, it's so fun. It's all right. Well, let's just let's get right into it. Yeah. So what I did again is we're trying to give away a coaching session with one of us. And I'm trying to figure out like a good contest to make this work. So last week, what I did was, people that have been watching these are hopefully going to have an edge because you know what types of guys I like, whatever it is. But the idea was every week I have like a top play, somebody I'm going to lock in. And also just on principle, even though maybe the betting market might not be just as inefficient as the DFS market, just on principle, I'll put that in the betting market also. So I'll throw I'll put an outright bet in, and I figured it'd be fun to have somebody come up with, if you could predict in advance which that guy is kind of rough. So this week I said to put in the top one, and unfortunately nobody got it again. Well, again, take a shot, Bob.
Well, I have to look at I want to do it by the price tier thing so this is who you bet on to win. Well, I want to guess your three guys, so I want to guess as we go along. There are two. I have two guys that I made outright bets on, and there are two guys also that I am going to lock in on principle. Actually, one maybe I'll lock it on. I would give people credit for either of these two actually. So you want to take a shot? You give me. I'll make the math work in your favor. You get two guesses, and it could be either of these two. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna say this is a weird guess. It's not anybody you ever play. And I was gonna come in and give some hints along the way, but then it wouldn't be fair to the people that put in the guesses before the hints. Yeah. Well, for you, I'll give a hint. Both of these guys are people I have recommended on these videos. Okay, so it's not going to be the guy who I was going to guess then. Who were you going to guess? I was actually going to guess Ian Poulter. Okay. Because everything I keep looking at keeps having him pop off the page. That's Chris Kirk would be a guess. Okay. And the other one I was going to guess would be, I don't even know who it would be. As a straight out bet, maybe Benny on. Okay. I don't know. We'll go through it. I'll just kind of highlight them. And hey, if I miss something in the Discord where someone else had one, again, I'll commit right now to give you credit for any of the either of the two. Yeah. All right, so let's get started. Who do you like? Who do you like in the 10K and up range? So in the high price range, why don't you start off, because I've got to load our last video while we're doing this, and it's kind of tricky to do both. Okay, my two favorites in this range are actually going to be both very, very chalky. So I'm not playing those in either outrights or I'm not locking those in. Although I might, only because they're good plays, but those for the contest or whatever, those are not the guys I was thinking about. So I do like Daniel Berger. He's projects really well. He's going to be just hyper high owned, but I do like him, and I like Neiman, and he's another one who's going to be really, really popular. So those two guys. I'm not playing the others. I'm not playing in Westwood
him or Westwood or Adam Scott. So that's where I'm at with the 10K and up range.
We're basically in the same page here. What do you think is going to end up, the ownership will end up being on Westwood compared to the other guys?
Yeah. So let me let me look for him. I don't want people to sleep on him completely, right? I have him as much lower owned. I have him at like 12%, and that's across the board.
Yeah, and I think that that's what is going to happen. And I would just say that I think that we should be including this guy probably a little bit. This weird golf thing that sort of goes against everything. I honestly, Sheets, can you explain it logically to me? Because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
How is it that someone who does well can't do well?
Yeah, I told you, he disappeared. He was all the way in Europe. He came back, and all of a sudden he's great. He's obviously on steroids. That's the only explanation.
No. I mean, why do people who bet on why aren't we allowed to play guys who just win tournament? Like, it's the opposite of chasing. To me, it's like the weirdest sport I've ever seen in my life. Like, no one wants to play the guy who's on fire lately. It doesn't make any sense. I really don't understand. I really would like an explanation sometime, because it happens every week, and I hear it on all the other podcasts on Rick's, which podcast little video thing, which is awesome. And but they're always, well, we don't want to play that guy because he won last week. And I'm just going, it makes so little sense logically.
Well, what makes sense is this, okay? Like, if these guys, look, if you want to play a guy back, you know, who makes sense, who's going to be low owned, yeah. But if you want to play a guy, I guess the logic is if someone had an outlier performance, that it's more likely that he would have a bad follow-up week.
But Bryson DeChambeau was not an outlier. Colin Morikawa was not an outlier.
No, I'm just trying to come up with explanations.
But there's not an explanation then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, interesting. I just think it's bizarre because everybody says it on every show. Oh, you don't want to play the guy who just won, and I'm like, am I missing something?
I think Berger won twice in a row, by the way, earlier in the year.
He did. And also, you don't need to win. You can, top fives, we like those too. Yeah, so I would just say that I would put Westwood in with the Berger and Neiman. And I'll probably be right with the field on Sanjay. I actually like these guys okay. I just need to figure out what I want to end up doing with the value.
Okay.
But I think Berger is my favorite of the top guys. He and Neiman would be one too.
For me, again, the 9K range avoided me this week. The top guy I have in the 9K range is Cameron Tringali. And he's, even he's going to be like 15% or something like that. I didn't get to a lot of this. Now, just so you know, like, Henley is like he's like a stat darling. I mean, he's from Rick's site to everybody are citing his his approach numbers, and apparently on this course that's what you want. So I'm not going to talk you off of it. He's just not popping for me that much. And he's going to be really popular, I think. So, and that was somebody's pick, by the way, for the thing. And I'll tell you right now, anybody that picks someone who rates to be like the chalkiest guy on the slate that's a bad pick. Yeah,
it's never going to be your thing.
It's just a bad pick.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Another guy who is got some good narrative going for is Taylor Gooch. Again, I'm not quite getting there, but again, like, if your builds take you to the 9K range, it's pretty good. And I already mentioned Chris Kirk. So between Kirk, Gooch, and Tringali, those are my favorites. 9K. I did not get to Lowry. Someone guessed Lowry. Another one is, I have like one of the most 5 popular guys in the slate. Just never going to happen for me. And Fowler. Well, Fowler's not even 9K, but I'm not playing.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to X these guys out or anything, but I don't have as much interest probably as the field in Lowry. I will be ahead of the field on Tringale, and I will be ahead of the field. I'll have very high ownership on Henley. I don't care. I read everything I looked at. You know what I mean? If I had a way to just, other than the fact that just variance,
absolutely,
everything else just makes sense with him. So I'm going to play him, and then Chris Kirk would be my third guy of this group. Sort of along with Gooch. I have him and Gooch rated similarly, but don't feel like I need to be above the field on either of them.
8K, I was wondering what your thoughts were going to be on a Doug Gim coming off of he had a tremendous weekend until he didn't, right? But this was not exactly something that was a huge surprise. I mean, he has been showing up in the Rick stuff as like a good ball striker for like 4 months. You know what I mean? And we've been playing him from time to time. I don't know if you've been on. I don't play him every tournament, but I get to him sometimes. So that performance.
Prenup, by the way.
Oh,
just to make sure just so people can see as they go along. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Doug. So Gim. So what? Yeah, I mean that's an interesting one. What do you think about him? I mean, I actually have interest in him again this week, even though.
Yeah, I have interest in him as well. I mean, he's not like my favorite play, but he's certainly on someone I would look to. But yeah, I definitely like him a little bit. But for me, and this again isn't like the top stuff, but my favorite play in this range is actually Cameron Davis. But he again is probably a little too popular for me to like go ballistic on. But he is definitely my top play kind of in this range. And then you got to go all the way down for me because again I like guys in the 7s and 6s a little bit this week more than the others. So Cam Davis is good. And then my next one I have is Brendan Steele at 8,700. And no, it wasn't going to be in Poulter, but he is the next 8K guy that I kind of have rated there. I'm not getting to Martin Keimer. I didn't even know he still played. 8,300. Fratelli. I didn't get to on this week. Wyndham Clark, Wallace. Keegan Bradley. St. John's not doing that. But so yeah, for me, Cam Davis is my favorite play in this range. And then Steve.
Yeah, I've got Gim as I don't really love this rate. Gim and Poulter would be Gim Poulter, excuse me. And then my low owned guy would be Benny on. I'm not as into this range particularly. I don't mind like the Cam Davises, the Brendan Steeles. But right now I probably with the field on them and I'm not really interested in the other guys. I was pretty excited for a minute last week, not to mention just like Doug Gim, the 10 on Sunday that took me out of a chance to win the $5 for 100K or whatever, which I really did have a chance at winning. But the other guy who I played a little bit of last week at the last minute was Dylan Fratelli, who actually was looking pretty good there for a few rounds and then sort of crumbled a little bit on the weekend, but ended up 22nd. I'm not going to play him this week. I think that's pretty much it for me. I think that it's, Fratelli, Poulter, followed by Gim and Steele. Nothing exciting for me in this range, with the exception of the low-owned Benny on. Just hoping that he can refine himself. I mean, I feel like he looks like a totally different player from round to round these days, and he had made some nice runs before that last before the Players, but it doesn't feel like amazing. I just love the ownership angle of it, and I think he's a better golfer still than he's been playing. So that's it.
So in the 7K range, that's where my two plays are going to come from. I would have given credit for either of them.
So I was going to guess JT Poston, but that was my other one. But I didn't think you ever had mentioned him before on a show. I don't know.
I hadn't.
Okay.
So let me just start by saying I'll call up a couple of guys that are not it. You guys should probably do a little homework on the Brandon Wu guy. I mean, he's coming from the other tour, and so the models might be kind of off on him. From what I hear, he's really good. I don't know what that means. And then another guy who I'm just definitely not playing, who's going to end up being, I think he ended up being popular after a while, is Harold Varner. I don't think I might be him, but he's going to end up being popular. So here are the two guys. So the first guy, the secondary guy, who I would have given you credit for as well, is a guy we played like a zillion times, is Kevin Streelman.
That's what I thought. I figured out.
So he's a little popular. So that wasn't like my main guy. He's the secondary guy. I did actually make an outright bet on him at like whatever 75 to 1, whatever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he's one of them, and and as I suspected throughout the week, the ownership has kind of crept. You know what I mean? Right. So it's creeping up a little bit, but I like him a lot. So my other guy, I mentioned him before. And I really, when I announced the contest, I ran my numbers. I'm like, oh, I hope it's not this guy because no one's going to guess him, right? And then I'm like, okay, so I'll just do more updates. And I tried everything to make it not work. Like one thing I'll do is I'll overweight one set of projections. I'll underweight this. I'll force something in. I'll do it. And I was waiting for ownership to come up. It just didn't happen. So God help me, he will be locked in, and he has a whatchamacallit bet at $1 million to 1 also. We are locking in Matt Jones at 7,400.
Okay. All right.
We played him I gave him out as like the top under 7K guy, wanted to make the cut once. And he got there. He's got some results, man. I tried to narrative street him out of it. I just couldn't quite do it. He made the cut at the Players. He's only missed like one cut recently. He got top 10 at the Genesis, 34th at Pebble Beach, whatever it is. So he's got an 11th at the Sony Open, and we're just gonna try it. Okay, I
like it.
Other guys in the 7K range, by the way, who I like is Adam Long, although he's gonna be popular. Richie Rowensky, who we played before. I'll throw in a couple of more. Patton Kazire, he might end up being a little bit popular. And then we're secondarily like Zach Johnson, maybe. James Hahn, he's a little popular. And I'll throw a couple more just because I like this range. Is Hadwin, Poston, who you said, and Rory Sabatini all the way down at 7,200.
Yeah, these are pretty similar to what I had here. What price is James Hahn at, actually? I'm having trouble. I didn't notice it.
73.
Okay, yeah, that's why. For some reason, I hadn't thought it'd be higher. All right, yeah, my guys in this range, I'm into the Matt Jones thing idea. I actually had him like a little note on him anyway to play him. So
did you? Nice.
I will give Matt Jones definitely a little more love now that we both like him. I like Johnny Vegas.
Nice.
Ryan Moore.
Nice.
Also, who else did I have on here? I've got to scroll up, actually. This is a big range. I also had the Hadwin, Noren, Varner, probably like 10% guys. And then I had Strielman as a guy who I like. So since we both like him.
Yep, sounds good to me.
And JT Poston was my other guy.
So in the 6K range, I like some guys. I like 1, 2, 3, 4. I like 6 guys under 7K, and one of them is like a top 5 play for me. And we played him before, and I couldn't quite get to play him in an outright or a lot. I would have given credit if people put him in there. But John Ha is 6,900. So in a field, remember guys, in a field like this, you don't have to be Bryson DeChambeau to win. You know what I mean? And you don't have to be Bryson DeChambeau to finish in the top 10. It's just a much weaker field. And I'm pretty sure that if John Ha was playing in the Masters, he'd still be the same price. You know what I mean? Like he'd still maybe 6,500 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I just think guys like this, like they're under 7K, that we played at this, at similar prices in much weaker fields, I think are naturally going to pop. And he is. I mean, right now I do have him at one site giving him over 10% ownership. So that's why I was a little bit hesitant. But at 6,900, who cares? So I do like him, and then I'll throw a couple of other guys. Sepp Straka, Tom Hoge or Hoji, Stuart Sink, Brian Stewart, and Scott Stallings.
Who was the other one you said before Stallings?
Brian Stewart.
Okay. Wow, Stallings. I mean, feels like a totally off the board one for you.
These are 1%ers, these last 3 guys.
Yeah, I've actually got some interest in this area down here, and I think that
excellent.
Maybe that's because in order to get different, that's what I felt like I had to try and do. I also was on John Ha. He was my highest owned under 7K. Nice. Look, he's going to have some ownership, but speaking of guys, you don't need to be, Bryce to win this tournament. Jim Furyk actually stands out to me a little bit, and that's not a guy who I ever play. I forgot to mention Sabatini before. I really like him too, and you mentioned him, but I hadn't mentioned him. Charles Schwartzel. I'm going with some weird ones, and this is a lot just based on research I did on other guys who I have a lot of respect for.
Yeah,
Sepp Straka I did have as a 5%er, so I'll have a little bit of him. Bo Hogg. I've never
nice. I like that.
And Bronson Burgoon.
Ooh, I remember we had him in these weak fields a couple of times, I think.
A couple of times we did, yeah, and he actually was pretty solid. The guy who keeps sort of, doing well though, and who did I have as my note here that I wanted to ask about? There was somebody who I keep seeing doing well, and I think you might have mentioned him anyway. It's maybe I'll figure out if I think of it. I don't remember who it was. But there was one other guy who I thought, oh, this guy hasn't been playing well. We can't play Brooks because he hasn't been playing, right? And everybody knows I'm a little bit biased towards Brooks, and we had a nice run from him earlier in the year. I'm just going to take like a little shot, a little bit, maybe like 2% on Chase Seifert.
It's so funny when I tell every Monday when the salaries first come out, I just eyeball it like before like looking at whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I look for in these weak fields. I'm like, okay, who is like really cheap that would be the same price as in the Masters, right?
Yeah.
And Chase Seifert's like one of those he was like one of the first guys I looked at visually and said, boy, I remember him.
Yeah, and he's actually like, I mean, the reason I mentioned Bryce before, I thought, people probably thought I was going to say Chase Koepka, which I'm not saying, but they're buddies and they practice together, and apparently have according to Brooks, when he was winning everything, a very similar game. So I've always sort of kept an eye out for him, and he's, one tournament I think he came in third for us, and he was like 1% owned early on in the quarantine. So maybe just a little sentimental-ish thing, just because he's been good to me before, but. I do like him, and I think that he's at his price. He's probably one of the few guys down at the very, very bottom who I see as having a shot to be a top 20. But that's pretty much it for me. Do you want to do our little game?
Yes, and then I have a really just extra special bonus coverage for you guys for like 30 seconds.
Awesome. Can I ask you one quick question about one of the guys who I was actually going to say?
Yeah.
Just because he's been making every single cut. And always seems to be like, until he double bogeys back-to-back holes, always seems to be like in the thick of things, and nobody's ever played him. I mean, look, it's not a great play. I mean, but why has no one ever played Ryan Armour? And I swear this guy, he just makes all the cuts, and he's another one of those, cheap minimum-ish guys. But this course won't show off his flaws or anything. I don't know. I just felt like he was another one. It was literally the projection I'm looking at has him as 0.02%. So I don't feel like he's a strong player or anything. One of those guys who I see making the cut every week, who no one ever plays, and seems to actually have better results. And now we don't have all these great golfers, so maybe he gets a little bump. That's all I was thinking.
All right, let's do our thing, and then then I'm going to do a special thing. Go ahead.
All right. So my guy to win it that I bet on. I think I'm going to go Berger, but it's just a toss-up for me between he and Neiman.
For me, the guy who's going to win the tournament is going to be Daniel Berger. So you said Berger?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll take Neiman. It's fine. I don't mind taking.
Yeah. So we'll live with one of those two.
Yeah. All right.
How about under 11K to finish under 11K or under 10K to finish top 5? Under 10K to finish top 5.
I'm going to go with Russell Henley, I guess, even though it's going to be chalky.
And I will go with Kevin Strielman.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Now under 9K to make top 20 or top 10.
Where is Strielman? What? He was really cheap, right?
Wow. Strielman 9,200.
Strielman 92. No, Strielman's 77.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I was looking at FanDuel. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Was that what you want to know why I pulled up FanDuel, by the way? I'm glad I did, because I forgot to mention. If you guys do play on FanDuel, somebody that Bobby mentioned in the cheapie is one of my favorite players there. And actually, that's where I remember him from, is Bo Hogg. The Bo Hogg is a really good player over there. So I'm sorry. So under 10? Oh, sorry, under 10K? Oh, I know what I was going to do. Sorry, for under 10K. Under 10K, I'm going to use an under 9K guy, if you don't mind. I'm going to use Cam Davis.
Oh, okay.
To beat all the 9K guys and finish top 5.
That makes sense. All right, so my under 9K guy, which is not to beat the other guys, but because I already named the other one, but I am going to say Ian Poulter. That's my guy.
And I'll go my next guy under 9K. I'll go with Brendan Steele.
All right, Brendan Steele. I'm actually going to have to get more of him now, because every time you call these, it seems to go through. So, all right.
Under 8K?
Yeah, under 8K. Boy, let me scroll down. I have somebody pretty heavily owned here. Oh, it's well, you already mentioned Strielman, so I'll say somebody else. I will take Matt. Those are both your guys. I'm just gonna, what I'll do? I'll take my guy I originally had, Johnny Vegas.
Okay, and I will again. We'll you know what? We'll give you both. We'll give you Strielman and Jones. How about that?
Okay, Strielman. There you go.
And under 7K to, I guess, make the cut. I mean, it should be pretty. I would say easy, but.
The under 7K to make the cut. Oh, I forgot to mention one other guy during this thing. I'm just going to mention, just because I play him every week, and I'm definitely going to do it against a weaker field, and that's Patrick Rogers. Still waiting for him to make a turnaround. Under 7, I wanted to take our guy, but I actually think that I'll just take the guy who I really think there's very little chance misses the cut, and that's Jim Furyk.
Yeah, I will go with actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so here's a little bonus coverage. I can't do this properly without showing a DraftKings lineup. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just type a couple of things in here, and then I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, this is not like an anagram or anything like that. And then there is, okay, now this one too. Hold on. Okay. So these, just so you know, are my highest owned golfers in the Kenya Open that DraftKings is running. That locks tonight at midnight. I actually did a little bit of work on it.
Oh my God.
And these are the 3 low owned plays that I do like in this contest. I did play 10 lineups, and I dug around for information. I dug around for research. I dug around for whatever. And if you guys want to throw one in, you got to do your own homework to come up with the good guys and the chalky guys. But these are the 3 guys that I like as the low-owned players in the magical Kenya Open that starts at midnight tonight.
Oh my goodness!
First prize I think is like $3 or something like that.
I can't pronounce that last guy's name. I give you that's
Gaganjeet Bueller.
Oh man, I cannot believe you did that one. All right, well there you go. A little bonus for those of you who are going to be playing the
extra
midnight.
Bonus.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good stuff, Sheets. I think we're going to be good. Guys, good luck to everybody this weekend. Hopefully, let us know if you take anything down. You got some sweats. We
got to think about that. How do we give away a coaching session? We got to have them earn it. We can't just give it away.
How about, okay, so
maybe do something basketball or something. I don't know.
Why don't we'll do something with basketball, or you could always post if you feel like it, your best result from this week, and we could give it to the guy who does the best. Although maybe it should be done for the guy who does the poorest, with the worst lineup. That actually is not a bad idea. The guy with the worst lineup, if they want it, we'll do a lesson with them. But it probably should be basketball. You're right.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Good luck to everyone out there. Okay. For Sheets and Bobby, we'll see you at the top of the leaderboards.